Hello and welcome to the Mad Leprechaun. My name is Mert Walsh. Today I shall be riding the beautiful KTM 890 Adventure R. If that's something that interests you, please do stick around and stay tuned until after the intro. Well, welcome aboard the KTM 890 Adventure R. I won't be taking this bike off-road today, but I thought I would get out of town and take it on a route that I know quite well that has lots and lots of twisties. So let's see how good this bike is around some of the twisties. And so far, off camera, I really like it. Fortunately, it's Saturday morning, so there's lots of people about. The bike has got a 21-inch front wheel, but I tell you what, even if it has, it seems to, for me, hold the line. It doesn't seem to want to drop in. It's a nice, controlled feeling. You don't have to give it counter steer to get it in. It's just, well, it's nicely weighted, I would say, on the front end as you turn in, which I think is a good thing. The gearbox is buttery smooth. It has got the optional extra quick shifter on, switched on at the moment. But we shall go through an awful lot more about optional extras a little bit later on. I'm enjoying this. Holds the road. The suspension isn't the typical Apex suspension from White Power that I've been used to on KTM. This is the XPLOR suspension, fully adjustable for preload and dampening front and back. It's got a progressive shock on the back. There's two valves, I think, in the front end, and I think it might even be two valves in the rear end, that as the suspension is moving more over undulations, etc., the second valve comes into play. Unfortunately, we've got some traffic. I'm going down here. KTM have done an awful lot of work to make this work really well off-road. I think, and I would say, that this bike would work exceptionally well on-road. Little back roads like this. I think I'll have a chat with Ben when I go back. I would have to ask him and see if this seat is in the low seat option, because the angle on my knee is a lot sharper than I would have thought it would have been. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that. So the seat could be in the low seat option. From memory, I think there's 100 Newton meters of torque, and you can feel it. It's lovely. Yeah, again, 5-inch colour TFT screen with all of the information you could possibly want. Whilst I'm on the topic of the TFT screen, here's Ben from Jim Ains Motorcycles doing a demo of the TFT screen and some of its features. Take it away, Ben.
So obviously on the main menu, very similar to the previous bikes. Through the middle you've got your speed, obviously RPM around the outside with your gear indicator on the top right, and your fuel gauge on the left hand side. Because of the shape of the tank, it will only show you the fuel level of the lower half of the tank capacity. So at the moment, that little symbol at the top that says 1/2 is essentially half. So when you start to get into this lower section, you then have about a half a tank left. As we go into the menu itself, click set. We then have a few different options. So the top one, motorcycle, set again will take you into that subset of the menu where you then have the option to change your ride mode. Set again will take you into that main setting where you can then cycle up and down through those options. As standard, you get off-road, rain and street. One of the optional extras which does come turned on in a demo mode to start with for 1500 kilometers is then rally mode. If you click set to select, you then have the option to go to your throttle response, and you can pick between rally, street or off-road, rally being the most aggressive of the three. Slip adjustment, you can then adjust to change how much traction control the bike will allow when off-road, with 0 being nothing, and then 9 offering some limited slip adjustment but will stop your rear end from just lighting up completely. With the off-road, for off-road ABS, turned off at the rear but turned on at the front still. Quick shift on this one is also turned on. Again, one of the optional extras in part of the demo mode. But to start with for this one, just to make sure we don't put Mert in a sticky situation, we'll stick him out in the street, and then we'll go back into the main menu where you then have some general information for the bike itself. So when your next service is due, you've got trip 1 and trip 2, and then some general settings. So what we'll do is go to quick selector, as in ride mode, and trip 1. Just means that when you're on the main screen, click up for quick selector 1 and you're straight to your ride mode.
I think some adventure bikes are just too big to do this on. Just nimble, you know, bimble around through the back roads type of stuff. And then you seem to stay away from the small nadgery stuff because your bike's too big. At least that's the way I feel anyway. But this, it's just perfectly at home on the small stuff. It's where it wants to be. And if you do decide to go off-road, if you've got the you have got the capability of taking it off-road. Okay. Oh, okay. Fantastic. This bike comes with cruise control, which I think in this situation is perfect. You can then release your right hand. You don't have to worry about going down here, I think. Yeah, you don't have to worry about breaking the speed limit, and you can give your right hand a rest. This bike is all about the roads less travelled. The brakes are exceptionally good. Oh. I'm going to switch off while I take you to the walk-around section.
Well, there it is, the KTM 890 Adventure R. Not only does it say ready to race on the TFT screen, the design inspiration comes directly from the 450 Dakar race bike. What colour does it come in? It comes in that colour. So the midsection of the fuel tank is blue, Side of the seat is orange and orange decals and white, so it is what you see on the screen. The switch gear. On the left hand side you have the lights, so for passing, high beam, low beam. Cruise control, which works a treat. This is for your multi-function switch for setting up the your settings for your rider modes, etc. Indicator, nice and easy to get to with your thumb, and the horn is down below. On the right hand side we have hazard lights. We like hazard lights on a bike, and the starter switch. The bike has a 5-inch TFT screen. Why not download the KTM app and connect to the TFT for turn-by-turn navigation? You can have music coming through to your headset in your helmet, and also incoming calls. Daytime running lights, one either side, high beam, low beam in the middle. You either like this headlight or you don't. I quite like it. It's like a praying mantis or something. LED indicators, one either side, and round the back, tail light, brake light and indicators. Very nice too, and do seem to be bright enough, which is good. The engine is 889cc. It's kind of hidden away in behind the fuel tank. Liquid cooled, 2-cylinder, 4-stroke, parallel twin, 4 valves per cylinder. The power output is 105 brake horsepower, 77 kilowatts at 8,000 RPM. The torque is 100 Newton meters of torque at 6,500 RPM. The clutch is KTM's PASC, Power Assist Slipper Clutch. It's a non-hopping, mechanically operated slipper clutch. This bike has a 6-axis IMU. It has an impressive amount of electronics to aid and enhance your riding experience. The rider aids, ABS, anti-lock braking system, MCT, motorcycle traction control. This not only controls the slip at the rear wheel, but it also controls the amount of lift at the front. With these two combined, the motorcycle is guaranteed for best possible acceleration. And that's a direct quote from the KTM. The fuel tank on this bike is approximately 20.1 litres. It's here at the top. It is a little part of the fuel tank, but the majority of the fuel tank is actually down low, keeping the centre of gravity much, much lower on the bike. And that hangs down. It's fitted. It doesn't really hang down. I suppose it does in a kind of hangy down sort of way. What is the camera doing? So there is the other part of the fuel tank on the other side. The 890 comes with a 6-speed gearbox and an optional extra quick shifter. The final drive is by X-Ring chain. The frame on the 890 is made with some very, very special swanky metal that I can't pronounce, so I'm not even going to bother trying. I shall put the name on the screen. The front suspension is by White Power XPLOR upside down 48mm, fully adjustable for preload and dampening. And they work, I have to say, an absolute treat. I really, really like the suspension on this bike. The rear suspension is by White Power XPLOR PDS. It's progressive dampening shock, and it also works an absolute treat. It's kind of hidden away up in there. The seat height is 880mm. There is a lower option by -20mm. There is also a lower frame option by 25mm. The dry weight of the bike is 200 kilograms without any fuel. Two 320mm discs up the front, with two 4-pot calipers, radial mounted, and the brakes are excellent. Whilst round the back you have a single disc, 260 millimeters, and it is controlled by a 2-pot caliper. If you were to buy this bike, it would come with demo mode, which comes with a cruise control, MSR, which is motor slip regulation, effectively stops the rear wheel from locking up. It would come with a quick shifter and rally pack. So how does demo mode work? You buy the bike in demo mode, make of that what you will. All of the options are available when you buy the bike, but after about 950 miles, demo mode is automatically switched off. However, this bike comes with a £1,000 voucher. By the time you get to your 950 miles, i.e. your first service, you can decide whether you want to spend your £1,000 voucher on your optional extras, clothing or other KTM products. The bike on the road is 13,999.
Right, time to get back on it. And I think it would be rude if I didn't take it for a little spin down there. So I've just set the riding mode to off-road and see how that feels. I would say that the throttle response is a little bit smoother. The suspension, this concrete road is obviously laid over 80 years ago, and it's quite bumpy, but the suspension is more than capable of handling it. And the nice thing is, one thing I would like to point out, there isn't electronic suspension on this bike. It's just set up for preload and dampening. It's only the throttle response on the engine map that changes when you change the riding mode. That said, I am super impressed of how much and how well the suspension handles everything off-road. Well, I've literally done nothing to the suspension, and the suspension is just handling all of those bumps, no problems at all. Right, I think it's about time I'll take this back onto the public road and get it back to Jermaine. The character of the engine coming out of the corners when you apply the throttle, it's a lovely grip of torque. Delivers the power really nicely. Those tyres really do seem to handle the road, and I know I didn't go far off-road, but I did say I wouldn't take the bike off-road, so that's about as far off-road as I can take it. I just wanted to see how the suspension would handle the undulations, and they did handle it very well. The mirrors, forgot all about them. You can see quite a lot out of them, albeit they're slightly difficult to reposition. But yeah, they're good. The ergonomics for me, slightly the bike feels slightly small under me. I really wish I'd put the saddle to the highest position and then made a comment, but it doesn't feel totally, oh my god, I want to get off it, too small, but I wouldn't want to be on the bike for a very prolonged period of time. So if you're shorter than me, you shouldn't have any problems. And the next thing really I would like to try is the screen and see what the wind blast to my chest is like. The screen is unadjustable, this being the off-road or the OR version, the Adventure OR version rather. The screen is purposely low and unadjustable. So clearly I was pushing on just then. I just wanted to see what the wind blast or where the air hits me whilst I'm riding the bike. I feel amazingly well protected from the wind by the screen. I thought potentially it would hit me kind of here, but it's not. It's kind of just about hitting me on the shoulders. The air around the top of my helmet is very, very clean. And yet again, I'm very surprised by that. Yeah, very nice place to be at, you know, north of 70 miles per hour.
Before I sign off, I would just like to say a massive thank you to Jim Aim Motorcycles, Braintree, for allowing me to ride their motorcycles. If you have liked this video, please leave a thumbs up. If you haven't liked this video for any particular reason whatsoever, please feel free to leave a thumbs down. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ding dong the notification bell, and hopefully I shall see you in the next one. Until next time, people, take care of yourself, ride safe. Bye bye.